Hi, I'm John, and I have an unusual weight loss story to share with you today. It's about how I lost over 70 pounds of fat not too long ago, and how I finally saw my abs for the first time in my life at the age of 40. How did I do it? Well, a lot of what really worked for me is stuff you probably won't read about in the magazines, and I bet it will work for you too. I'm not a naturally lean guy. In fact, I was downright obese for many years. And when I found out that it wasn't my fault, well, that was one of the best days of my life. I'm going to tell you my story because it's probably very similar to your own. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a gal. Anyone who struggles with their weight and their waistline will relate to this story. And if you watch this entire video, which I promise you will not be online very long, I will do more than just tell you a story. I will give you the solution I discovered and use to this very day. Again, this video will not be up forever, so please watch it while you can. If you're anything like me, you've probably been beating your head against the wall for years, maybe even decades, all because you do not have that flat, firm stomach you long for. I remember the first time I saw a gal go from being really overweight to having a super firm, tight waistline. I knew Susan was working out, and she was always in and out of the gym in about 20 or 30 minutes. But after a few months, I really began to notice more than just her workouts. I noticed her super firm waistline. Susan was wearing a workout outfit that showed the rest of the gym what she did. She got the fat off, and boy, was it sexy. That just made me want to go home and do 1,000 setups. And I did. I was really sore the next day. It didn't exactly work, though. Now, you know the look of what I'm talking about. Hardly any fat around the waist, great lines of tasteful muscle tone where most people carry those rolls of flab. And when Susan tucked in her shirt, nothing hung over her belt. And that's not all. Here's what struck me as very strange. Susan never did setups. She never worked her abs in the gym. She was always working out, but I never once saw her do so much as even look at her abs. Now, many years later, as my stomach grew from a soft 33 inches to an obese 48 inches, I started remembering that first encounter with a fantastic set of abs. And you know what I did? I blamed it all on Susan's genetics. She probably used to be in great shape. That was the only answer. At least that's what I kept telling myself. And you know what? That wasn't the truth. Susan had average genetics at best. Sure, she worked at it. But come on. I was lying to myself. Now, I'm an honest guy, so admitting this was very difficult. And the fact that I was lying to myself didn't hit me all of a sudden. After all, I'd tried dieting. I'd done sit-ups and crunches for years. The only thing I managed to do was pull my back muscles and trim my waistline by about an inch, maybe 2 at the most, but not an ab muscle in sight. My clothes were always uncomfortable on me, and I never wanted to take my shirt off at the beach or at the pool. In essence, I was like a prisoner in my own body. My mind wanted something, at least that I believed, my body could never give me. Maybe this sounds like someone that you know. Maybe it sounds just like you. Well, today I'm a different person. I sport a trim, firm stomach, and in fact, I saw my abs, all of them, for the first time at the age of 40. And you know what? My genetics for a flat stomach are lousy. I was absolutely shocked. I mean, amazed. I was floored. Now, how did I do it? First, I embraced the one truth that hardly anyone knows or will tell you about getting lean abs. It's going to blow your mind. Here it is. The best ab exercise in the world is no ab exercise. Now, that may come as a total shock to you. There is a time and place for ab exercises done correctly, for sure. But I saw the start of my abs before I ever did a crunch or ever did a leg raise, before I ever even thought about working my abs. Here's why this is the truth. If you train your abs directly too much, you're just going to build the muscles underneath your layer of fat. Now that's great if you want a bigger stomach. And that's not what most of us want. Not only that, But direct ab exercises can cause your body to go into a state of what we call overtraining. This wears you out and makes you not want to go to the gym, not want to work out. It can even ruin your enthusiasm for dieting. Now, maybe you realize why you've started working out only to stop a few days or a few weeks later. I don't know, maybe you lasted a few months. I did. There's a better way to get the job done, and it's amazingly fast. Now, let me tell you another quick 30-second story about how much a leaner waistline can affect a woman's self-esteem in a major way. After I got myself into shape, my girlfriend wanted to join in on the fun. Now, listen, I loved her just as she was, and she knew that, but she wanted more for herself, and I supported that. So, after a few weeks, we were out having fun, and some old friends of ours came up to us and said to her, "Amy, you should be a model." That made her feel like the world just gave her a big hug. She loved it, and so did I. And not to get too personal, but all this extra attention paid off in our love life too. She was literally a different woman, confident and energetic like you wouldn't believe. Okay, we've already mentioned how direct ab exercises can be one of the biggest time wasters, actually one of the least effective ways of getting a